In fact, as I said before, the very first Quran in book form was given into the protection of a sister.
But many people who convert to Islam talk of its universal values, its connectivity across the globe, its brotherhood. You do not necessarily talk of all those things.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the backbone of the Ummah is female. These are the women who have the hardships. They are the ones who are bearing the children. They are the ones who are seeing their husbands, fathers, children going off to war, maybe not coming back. They are in the front line of all the miseries that are being thrown at the Muslim world today, and they are as strong and organised as ever. And I look round at some of the Muslim men and I despair. Where are the real men? Where are the Khalid bin Walids? Where are the greatest role model is the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And even in death, he has managed to unite us all over these Danish cartoons. It is through him that we have forgotten the sects, the splits, the divisions, and come together in one protest about these horrible cartoons that were coming out of Denmark. And there is a great role model for the brothers to aspire and follow, and yet, where are they? I really do despair.
Do you think we overreacted on the cartoons?
No, not at all. I knew nothing. Absolutely nothing about the Prophet Muhammad 5 years ago. I'd never even heard of him, just nothing. Now I would give my last drop of blood to protect his integrity, his memory, his honour. So no, I don't think we did overreact. What we did send out to the world is don't mess with us, don't do it again. And I think that has become quite clear now.
But just before the interview, you said you were very disappointed by the lack of brotherhood in the Islamic world. Mm-hmm. What exactly do you mean by that?
You look at the war on terror today. The Guantanamo Bay. Guantanamo Bay is full of brothers that have been literally sold like pieces of meat by their so-called brothers in Pakistan, and in they've been sold for money. You look at the rendition flights that brothers have been put on to be taken to countries to be tortured. Which countries have they been taken to be tortured? Syria, Jordan, Egypt. Who is doing the torturing? Brothers are torturing brothers. What are they thinking of? They have no honour, no respect. They're going to burn in hell for what they're doing. They have no fear of Allah. They can't possibly have any fear when they carry out this dirty work against their brothers. It's very, very sad. You look at the Arab leaders who have belly danced in front of America, handing Iraq over on a plate to the Americans. These Arab leaders, what sort of Muslims are they? You look round and it is very, very, very sad.
So what do you think of the Muslim leadership in Britain then?
Well, a classic example, recently Condoleezza Rice visited Jack Straw's hometown of Blackburn, and the committee in the Hidayah Mosque opened up their doors and were going to welcome Condoleezza Rice into their mosque. Now, there were two things that upset me about that decision. One is she is a blood-soaked war criminal, drenched in the blood of our brothers and sisters across the world. So why would you want her to defile a mosque? And the second, that mosque does not allow sisters in to worship, and yet they were quite prepared to let a non-Muslim woman...
Are you suggesting the Muslim women are not allowed in the mosque?
Yes.
Yet Condoleezza Rice was welcomed.
It was absolutely outrageous. And if there wasn't so many other things to do, more pressing things to do, one of the things that I would like to do as a Muslim living in Britain, is to tackle every single mosque that closes its doors to women. How dare they do that? We should have a choice to either, if we want to pray at home, then we can pray at home with our children, with our family around, it's convenient. But if we want to pray in the mosque, we should be able to pray in the mosque. And how dare these brothers stop sisters from praying in the mosque? And they hide behind feeble excuses. Well, there are no wudu facilities. I don't buy that. Get them installed, open up the mosques to the sisters as well. Who builds the mosques? Whose money goes into building the mosques? The sisters provide just as much, if not more, to build these mosques.
You referred to the sisters again and again. A short while ago you also said that you're so disappointed by the modern Muslim men. There's no Khalid bin Walid among them. What do you expect the men to do?
Well, the only way you can fight the enemy is by standing up, and unfortunately most Muslim men are on their knees at the moment, and you cannot take on the enemy in any sort of level, in a fighting level, in a battle of words or wills. You cannot do it when you're on your knees. And the Muslim men, they must wear sponges on their legs because they seem to be down on their
always
knees.
Down. But only a short while ago you also said Islam is so strong today, like 1400 years ago. What is that you meant then, if Muslim men are always on the knees?
Well, those men who are on their knees, while they're down there, they should be reading the Quran and learning that they fear no one but Allah. They submit to no one but Allah. And, the authorities, the boss class, the likes of the Bush administration, people like Blair, they are never ever going to like us as Muslims. They are never going to like us. Well, we should be able to deal with that, but what we should try and make them do is...
What is this boss class you refer?
Well, I suppose it's very much comes from my background. I'm working class. And, Britain is a very class system. You've got the elite up there and you've got the working class down there. And although it's changed and the lines are more blurred, the elite are still up there and they look down. They look down on the middle class, the working class. They look down on all levels of society. And I think, well, okay, I don't care if you don't like me, but please respect me. And that is the most that Muslims in Britain can hope for from the establishment, to just have a level of recognition, a level of respect. And we are never, ever going to get the respect of the establishment by being on our knees.
Who do you define as establishment in this country?
The establishment, we're talking about the Prime Minister, the government ministers, we're talking banks, the upper echelons of royalty, unseen establishment
the judges,
figures.
the law firms.
Yes.
But aren't you referring to a very small, tiny class in a country of 65 million people?
Yeah, they're the ones who are ruling Britain today.
1%.
There's 1 or 2% own something like 70% of Britain.
You think accent in this country still matters? To have the right accent, to have the royal pronunciation, the received pronunciation, does it really matter? To make progress in this country?
I think it does. In perceptions. I mean, your English accent is far more crystal clear than mine. And
you must be kidding.
No, but it's something that the Taliban picked up on when they started questioning me, and they said, "You have a very strange voice."
Strange voice?
Yes, and your accent. And I said, "We don't all talk like the Queen." And then I said, the little light bulb went off in my head, and I said, "I come from the tribal areas of Britain." And
tribal areas?
That's what they said, and I said, "Yes, I come from the area between Scotland."
You created that?
Yes. I said, "I come from the area between Scotland and England, and we're called Geordies," which is true. We are called Geordies. people from the northeast of England. And then I said, we're horribly oppressed by the people in the south, and they liked that.
Let's move forward a little bit. How has your family reacted? I was reading that initially your family was very upset by your conversion, but then your parents, your mother, really accepted that.
My mother was just delighted.